Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So today we're going to go over some recent news on Beam, which obviously, if you guys have been around on the channel for any time now, you guys know that Beam is one of our top conviction plays for, again, more of a high cap in the gaming sector. Now, before we get into the news and what I think this means for Beam and the impact it can have and where Beam stands, where it could potentially go throughout the cycle, as always, if you guys get value out of the content here, if you guys could subscribe to the channel and like the video, you guys' support means everything. So if we take a look at what Beam has gone ahead and done, where essentially they have changed the game. I mean, they are making huge changes to their ecosystem in positive ways. They have gone ahead and put out 4 different announcements here saying that Beam has been chosen by Abu Dhabi. More into that in a little bit. Beam AI, they actually have now announced that Beam is going to have a new AI division moving forward. So obviously we know that gaming is potentially a hot narrative this cycle, and AI is without a doubt one of the leading, if not the leading narrative this cycle. So the fact that you already have a top tier gaming project and now that they are introducing an AI division, again, that is only bullish in my opinion because AI is such a hot narrative. Now the biggest news out of all this, in my opinion, is that they have gone ahead and introduced their Beam L1. So obviously up until this point, Beam has been a L2 or a subnet on Avalanche. Again, it is Merit Circle's subnet on Avalanche. So they just kind of rebranded, if you're not familiar with Merit Circle, to Beam. So, and there has been speculation for some time now. We have speculated on the past that Beam could potentially eventually have their own chain. We've seen other projects do it in the past, so it's not that unheard of. But I do think now Beam being, an L1 now puts them on the same tier level in the same equal playing field as other projects in the space, stuff like Immutable X, Ronin. Now Beam has a chance to compete against those. I mean, it even could compete against Avalanche itself, not being restricted as just being viewed as just a subnet anymore. And then they are introducing their Beam nodes, which again we'll go over with here in a little bit. If you want more information, I encourage you guys to either follow the video on their Twitter. You can find it on the Beam Foundation, just at BeamFDN on their Twitter, where they go into a lot of these announcements recently more in depth. Again, I'm just going to cover some of the cliff notes here to bring awareness to you guys where Beam is moving forward, because it is a project we talk about quite often here. So again, we'll kind of go through this tweet. So first of all, they talk about how, out of all of this, Abu Dhabi has chosen Beam to fuel and shape its future of gaming. So Beam Ventures is going to become the first gaming-focused qualified investor fund in Abu Dhabi. So that is huge, the fact that they're going to be the first gaming-focused investor fund in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, we know a lot of the money in crypto does come from the UAE, so that is pretty big news there as well. Now, when we go ahead and take a look at exactly what that means, so when we take a look at Abu Dhabi, with Beam Ventures, they do say they're going to have a $150 million gaming-focused venture fund and accelerator program. So Beam Ventures is empowering the next generation developers and startups in Web3, blockchain, and AI, again with their new AI division. So in collaboration with local and global partners, this initiative aims to position Abu Dhabi as a global gaming hotspot. So again, 150 million, that's a lot of scratch there, and that is going to be a gaming-focused venture fund, an accelerator program with Beam Ventures. So huge partnership there. Again, I don't know if a lot of people are going to catch on to how big that is, but that is pretty insane that Beam has been chosen by Abu Dhabi. And again, they also say they go into it here as well. They have new partnerships, again, including Sofon and Aether Cloud, other top projects in the AI / DeepIn sector as well. Now, they do say the applications are expected to open in Q1 2025 with a focus on gaming, AI, and then VR as well. So pretty insane there. Again, all hot narratives. Beam AI is their new AI division. They did put out a tweet also here recently, again, on all these updates, a little bit more in depth if you want to learn more about that. But it is led by University of Oxford, trained director, research mathematician. Beam AI will set a new standard for AI in gaming. So again, huge update. Again, this is not just a simple hey, little this, we did one of these things. I mean, even any of these one individual out of these 4 core updates would have been insane news for any project. But the fact that they went ahead and launched all 4 of these updates, at the same time was pretty insane. Now the Beam nodes, they are going to be coming out here as well. So if we look at this tweet, so introducing Beam nodes with the Horizon upgrade, the Beam network transitions to a permissionless proof of stake consensus mechanism. So empowering the Beam network, you can earn in Beam, Aether, Zentry, Saga, and many more. So the node token mint opens up next week, so I believe that is this week at the time of recording this video. So to start, this is a different process. If you want to get a Beam node, again, nobody knows how lucrative they're going to be, but if you're bullish on Beam moving forward as an ecosystem, then it might be worth it if it's something that you can swing. If you're into the node, node play as far as node projects go, this is one that you should have on your radar, because I do think that Beam is not going anywhere. I'm particularly bullish on Beam. I've been very open about that to you guys on the channel every time we talk about Beam, especially when we go ahead and look at Beam right now. We can see, obviously, on the 1 month with the recent news here, it is up 75%, which is insane for something of this market cap. Now, it does sit just shy of a $2 billion market cap, but still, Beam, before these updates, I would have told you that Beam, could get to a $5 to $10 billion market cap. But again, now that they've gone ahead and moved to an L1, they have an AI division, they have that huge grant, $150 million from the Abu Dhabi partnership and being chosen by them for a venture fund. This opens up the door for Beam to a lot. Again, they're not just stuck to a gaming subnet on Avalanche. This actually moves them up to a whole nother level in the food chain. And again, being equal playing field with other projects that we've seen in the space, like Immutable and Ronin. If you want to, again, be a Beam or have a Beam node, the mint fee is $12.50 during the first week, and then it goes up to $3,750. So if you want to have a Beam node, maybe consider taking action immediately. Again, nothing I say is financial advice, just give you guys my opinion and letting you guys know what exactly is happening here. Then once you do mint that Beam node, you will need 20,000 Beam hardware equipment that will be updated for what exactly that is, and then there will be a monthly Avalanche fee as well. Again, they say that Horizon upgrade is targeted to be the end of January 2025, so and within the next 30 to 45 days, I imagine that will be up and running as well. But so they do have the nodes. Again, I think the nodes is a huge update also. But again, this changes the game for Beam. So if you were bullish on Beam before, this should only increase your conviction level in Beam. Now, when we look at where Beam has been throughout the cycle, now obviously Beam is one that we talked about. You guys can find it on the channel. We talked about this extremely early on, right at like a $350 million market cap when it hit the open market last November. Again, a little over a year now at this point, because Beam was one that seemed just like an obvious play. One, we knew that Avalanche was a hot narrative, Q4 of 2023. We knew that Merit Circle, it had always been common knowledge that Merit Circle had this huge war chest, obviously, as far as money, in their ecosystem. So they were pretty open about this Beam migration, or again rebranding, for quite a while. So Beam was one that we did catch early on at about a $350 million market cap. Now obviously it has yet to go back to those levels. It quickly ran up to $1 billion, and it ran over a $2 billion at that time earlier this year. Now over the summer we've seen it kind of dip a little bit, as gaming has not been a hot narrative, around those $500 million levels. But, again, when we look at the 1 month, it just came all the way from, sub 1 billion all the way to 1 billion because of the recent news, because of we've seen Avalanche perform also well. Now, I do think it's still going to get some, attention whenever Avalanche does well also. So I am bullish on Avalanche, as you guys know. But Beam now, being all these recent changes, now integrating their Beam L1 or changing to their Beam L1, and having the AI division and having that huge backing of 150 for a gaming venture fund by Abu Dhabi, does bring a different level of legitimacy to the project. Not that there was any doubt, but I do think with all this recent development, that is huge. And obviously when we look at Beam, there's not a whole lot of dilution, so nothing to really worry about there. Now it's going to be interesting to see how lucrative the nodes actually do end up being, the utility behind the nodes. Let me know if this is something, if you're in the node space, if you're looking at potentially having a Beam node, let me know in the comments below. If you see the value of the partnership of the Abu Dhabi, gaming venture, let me know that also. And let me know if you hold Beam, if Beam is one that, you've kind of been riding with this, or if you've kind of written it off as such a high market cap. Let me know that too. Everyone's investment strategy is a lot different, but I've always said if you're looking for exposure to the gaming sector and you don't want to go too far down the market cap rabbit hole in the space, but you just want exposure to gaming, then Beam has always been a great option. Even at these levels today, I would say that Beam is still undervalued because of all the recent news and updates. I still think that Beam now has greater potential than it did obviously before the news. So I still hold Beam in my portfolio. Just full disclosure to you guys, obviously we're looking at the gaming side of things. It could potentially be a, you know, quote unquote safety net with a little bit more upside for gaming exposure. So if you are hot in other narratives but you just want gaming exposure, then Beam to me is one that offers great upside, especially with the recent updates. So it's gonna be interesting how this all plays out, but I do think this is a huge game changer for Beam. And I think, again, a lot of people might not understand all those different updates. So if you guys do want to learn more about it, you can refer to the website, the white paper. Again, if you go to the Beam Foundation, they have multiple tweets recently going into each individual update. Again, like their Beam AI, you can go in there and find out more about it. I don't want to do it all in one video. It'd be a little bit longer. And also, if you're interested in this, again, as always, please do your own research. But Beam, again, in my opinion, just changed the game, so it's gonna be interesting to see where Beam goes. But either way, guys, that was an update on Beam. Just wanted you guys to be aware of that because I do think it just changed its whole ecosystem. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And as always, if you guys want an optional way of supporting the channel, just knowing what I'm doing in these markets, there is a Patreon linked below or the Discord. Also, you can get in there and ask some questions. If you guys need help with anything, please let me know. I'll try to answer all you guys' comments. And if you guys got value out of today's video, if you guys could, like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.